I have bought a lot of Chinese cycling clothing. I have also bought a lot of Western cycling clothing. And let me tell you this, Chinese manufacturers have made significant progress over the last 10 years. We're seeing the market flooded with cheap Chinese cycling clothing, cycling computers, even budget carbon road bikes. But is Chinese cycling clothing actually as good as Western cycling clothing at half the price? Surely not, right? What's the catch? So some quick background after I put all of this on the floor. I first got into cycling not even that long ago. I was training for my first Ironman 70.3, and for my running and swimming training, I bought running shoes, a fitness watch, goggles, swimming shorts. My total spend was about $800. And then I thought, okay, I guess I better go ahead and buy a bike and a helmet and a jersey and a bib shorts and shoes and sunglasses and water bottles and bottle cages. And I went from spending $800 for my running and swimming gear to more than $5,000 buying all my cycling gear. And I thought, surely there's got to be a cheaper alternative. So I started buying Chinese cycling gear and clothing. After about 12 months of testing quite a lot of Western cycling clothing, as you just saw, and quite a lot of Chinese cycling clothing, I feel like I'm in a qualified position to make this video on whether Chinese clothing is actually worth it, and I'll tell you exactly what the catch is before you open a new browser and fill up your shopping cart with Chinese cycling clothing. The single biggest advantage to Chinese clothing is definitely the price. It's quite obvious, right? A Chinese jersey shipped direct from the factory in China could be $30, whereas if you bought the same jersey from a Western manufacturer, it might cost you $70 or $80, even though it's the same jersey from the same factory in China. So just without the big well-known Western brand logo on it. From what I've seen, the materials and fabrics are pretty much the same as Western manufacturers because they're often all made in the same factory. There's one important caveat though, which I'll get to later on. So I have these SOUKE jersey and bib shorts. Now, for complete transparency, SOUKE did send these out to me a few months ago. So massive thanks to them because I wouldn't be able to buy and test all of this cycling clothing without the support of brands like this. So I'll use SOUKE as an example. They're a cycling clothing company based in China. So I have their cargo bib shorts here. So I chose these bib shorts because, as the name suggests, the cargo bib shorts, they have these pockets. I will never buy a pair of bib shorts without pockets. About a year ago, I bought these MAP bib shorts. Now these are the Cargo Alt Road 2.0 bib shorts. And for context, MAP is an Australian cycling clothing company. And since buying them, it ruined almost every other bib shorts I've ever worn that don't have pockets. You can see there's pockets here, and there's also pockets. You can see at the back here. I just much prefer putting my phone and cards in my bib shorts as opposed to my jersey back pockets for accessibility. I can reach them easier, but also for safety. If they're in my jersey pocket on my back, I feel like if my phone fell out mid-ride, I wouldn't even know. Let me know in the comments if any of you could never go back to bib shorts without pockets. I watch a lot of bib shorts reviews on YouTube, but it seems like I'm the only person that makes a big deal out of pockets in my bib shorts. Am I the only person who cares about these? Let me know in the comments, genuinely wondering, and if I'm the only person, I will shut up about them. Anyway, when using cycling gear, whether it's Chinese or Western made, the single most important thing I personally care about is comfort. My clothing has to be comfortable above everything else. Materials, durability, and fit all come secondary to how the gear feels during those long hours in the saddle. So if you're constantly adjusting, chafing, or distracted by your kit, it doesn't really matter how much you paid for it or where it was made. Now, these SOUKE cargo bib shorts are genuinely some of the most comfortable bib shorts I've worn for one reason. The front of the bib shorts, let me just show you here, they come up really high on the stomach, above the belly button. So if you have a bit of a gut, the bib shorts support it. So my stomach isn't that big, but when you're kind of in an aggressive riding position, the fat does bunch up. It's hard to explain, but with my MAP bib shorts, they don't come as high, so they don't really support my stomach as much. The chamois as well is very thick, thicker than average. And I've just shown you, I've tried a lot of bib shorts. These are far thicker than average, so suitable for longer rides. I can ride with these on my Trek de Mani behind me for 3 hours non-stop, and the chamois really does a very good job. There's no rubbing, there's no chafing or anything like that. So these particular SOUKE cargo bib shorts are about $66 direct from the website, which keeps costs down compared to buying from a local store or a third-party marketplace like AliExpress or Amazon. I do also have links in the description below where you can get a further 15% discount if you use the discount code triathlonmike at checkout. So these $66 bib shorts drop to about $56. I've tried on a lot of bib shorts. These cargo bib shorts, especially with the pockets, are the best value for money bib shorts you can buy, at least from the ones that I've tested. And for context, I'm 6 foot, 75 kilograms, and these bib shorts are size medium, and they fit very comfortably indeed. Mia, come and sit here then if you want to be on the camera. I also have the SOUKE 2025 diverse cycling jersey, just like the cargo bib shorts. Super well made, extremely comfortable, even though it's a race fit. I always wear bright coloured jerseys, mainly for safety, because cycling on the road is dangerous enough as it is. The value for money with SOUKE clothing is really very good, even more so if you use a link in the description with my 15% discount. Unlike many Western manufacturers, you're definitely not paying a brand tax, having to pay 2 or 3 times the price just to have a logo on the front of your jersey. A quick side note, I hunt through hundreds of cycling gear options and test them out so you don't have to. So just a few weeks ago, I started a newsletter where every week I give you my top cycling gear recommendations straight to your inbox. If that's something you might be interested in, I'll drop a link in the description below to sign up. It's completely free and it always will be. Anyway, overall, I would absolutely recommend you buy Chinese cycling clothing, particularly if you're on a tight budget. But after testing dozens of cycling clothing for both Western and Chinese manufacturers, there are definitely some disadvantages with Chinese gear that you absolutely should know about. The number one disadvantage, you can't try them on. Now, this is a big one. You can't just go to your local buy shop, try out 5 or 6 different jerseys, and then choose the jersey that fits you the best. If you're buying direct from China, whether it's AliExpress, whether it's direct from the manufacturer's website, you can mitigate the risks by measuring yourself beforehand and using the manufacturer's sizing guides, but there's still a risk that when the parcel lands on your doorstep, you open it up and it doesn't fit. And then it's like, well, what do you do? Longer shipping times also, and returns are more complex compared with popping into your local cycling store. You might be saving by buying direct from Chinese manufacturers, but the cost you do pay is in inconvenience if something goes wrong, like you want to send it back. Another disadvantage is that if you want to go ultra premium and you have basically an unlimited budget, you should probably stick with Western manufacturers. I mentioned these MAP Ultra-Road Cargo 2.0 bib shorts. These are extremely expensive, $330 for a pair of bib shorts, but the materials they use are like no other bib shorts I've ever tried, Chinese or Western. And I've had these bib shorts for, I'd say, about a year now. And every single time I put them on, genuinely, I notice how incredible they feel. It's really hard to articulate on camera how good this material is, just so premium. If you have a pair of these, or if you've seen them in store, you'll know exactly what I mean. And if you have an unlimited budget, I'd absolutely recommend them. Side note, I did pay for these with my own money. I'm not affiliated with MAP in any way. Another disadvantage to buying Chinese clothing, and this is controversial, so bear with me. Whenever I make a video on Chinese cycling gear, I always get at least a couple of comments saying, oh, you shouldn't buy Chinese products, you should support the US and buy American, which is problematic because firstly, I'm not from the US. Secondly, I don't generally support the idea of only buying products from within your own borders. That would be difficult. I've lived in 5 different countries and traveled to more than 30, so I definitely have more of a international perspective when it comes to global trade. Let me know in the comments where you stand on that. It is definitely worthy of conversation regardless of which side of the debate you're on. So after testing out the super cheap bib shorts that cost literally $10 from AliExpress to super expensive bib shorts like I just showed you, the map bib shorts for $330, and pretty much everything in between. For most people, I feel the mid-range price Chinese gear, even Western gear, is really hitting the sweet spot between genuinely good quality gear that is well-fitting, comfortable, and will last you a long time. As I mentioned earlier, you can check out the SOUKE cycling gear using the link in the description below, and using code TriathlonMike at checkout for 15% discount. I did actually upload another video recently, you can click on it here, comparing budget $15 AliExpress cycling jerseys with quite expensive $150 jerseys. You can click on that card. It's a very interesting video because the difference is very big. But then again, I am comparing a $15 jersey with a $150 jersey. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.